Welcome to SiNH Car Reviews its finesse machine to a transcendental level. Akierstein author manufacturer photographer August 3, 2021. Imagine telling someone when the 2016 Cadillac CT4-V was knew what the world would look like in 2021, when the 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing arrives. Would they believe many major automotive brands plan to sunset their gasoline-powered offerings in about another decade? Or that manual transmissions in performance sedans are nearing total extinction, including in the ultimate version of the BMW M3, the competition model? How about that BMW has also abandoned its traditionally understated German exteriors for a brash, porcine front clip? And of course, the reality that the CT4-V Blackwing and its CT5-V Blackwing counterpart will be the final gas-powered V-Series cars from Cadillac? What if you told them, amid all this change, it's Cadillac, of all brands, that takes the bold position of offering a manual gearbox in both models? Inconceivable, they might say. But they would probably believe Cadillac would throw all its considerable performance and chassis know-how at sending the V-Series off with a bang. The CT4-V Blackwing is that explosion. What is the Cadillac CT4 Blackwing? A gentle evolution of the ATS-V might not seem like an appropriately dramatic send-off at first. There is a lot of carryover hardware between the two vehicles, from the Alpha 2 chassis architecture to the LF4 twin-turbo V6. But the transformation carries more subjective weight than the CT4-V Blackwing's spec sheet suggests. The ATS-V's smooth angularity is replaced by a more modern exterior influenced by Cadillac's Escala concept. The new look is at its best where the designer's signal musculature, the way the knife-edged character lines above the door tumble into the vertical elements in the taillights and front DRLs, and in the creases that form a subtle power bulge in the hood. But the 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing's distended trunk overshadows the neat tail lamps, and its shape is mirrored in the decklid spoiler for added emphasis. The tacked-on front dive planes, part of the optional carbon fiber 1 package, look like a late addition because they were. The CT4-V Blackwing wouldn't hit its front downforce target without them. At least the aero bits are functional. The CT4-V Blackwing makes 169 pounds of downforce at 180 miles per hour, the most of any V-Series car. Call this car distinctive and purposeful, sure, but its bodywork is too busy to be beautiful. The hedged appreciation extends to the soundscape. Despite the ATS-V's dynamic excellence, it never had the oral drama to fully sell its sporting persona. You can now consider that issue fixed, at least as much as it can be with a V6 still under the hood. Cadillac really couldn't dig deep and send it off with a naturally aspirated V8? Guess not. At least Cadillac's engineers reworked the exhaust to hit maximum allowable sound targets in full rip. The resulting noise, while still a bit coarse, makes the Blackwing's engine seem like a living, breathing, even agitated thing rather than a distant clatter and whoosh. Most important, it keys your ears to the engine's state of froth even on a noisy track with open windows. It's absolutely better than the ATS-V massaged power. There's also a negligible increase in power while torque is unchanged, ringing in at 472 horsepower and 445 lb-ft of torque. Cadillac claims its 2022 CT4-V Blackwing can scoot to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds with the optional 10-speed automatic or 4.1 seconds with the manual. We clocked the old ATS-V sedan at 3.7 seconds to 60 miles per hour with an 8-speed automatic. It's possible the newer automatic could shave some time off its predecessor's 60 miles per hour dash in our testing, though Cadillac says the CT4-V Blackwing weighs roughly 112 pounds more than that car. Otherwise, the LF4 engine is unchanged besides some lightly revised oil squirters, and that's alright, because this twin-turbo V6 is a torque-rich, low-lag means to an end. Chassis upgrades. The 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing is fundamentally a finesse machine, pointy and agile without being unforgiving. Credit goes to some choice pieces bolted to its ultra-stiff chassis. For one, the CT4-V Blackwing wears 18-inch wheels all around, as well as bespoke compound Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Damping those wheels is the fourth generation of MagneRide shock technology. Controlled by a revamped suite of sensors, and with increased capability, they react quicker than before, with more precision and less body roll in corner transition. All this technology yields dividends on the road. Even with the shocks firmed up, harder impacts are muted substantially, letting information about what's underneath the car come through without upsetting the car's composure. But on track, at Virginia International Raceway, the combination of the smart damper tech and the ample sidewalls of the sticky Michelins means thwacking the circuit's aggressive curbing is a non-event. Brake bite is ferocious, even though these are just iron units upsized slightly from the ATS-V. Front discs are nearly 15 inches gripped by 6-piston Brembo calipers, and the rears are 13.4 inches with 4-piston units. The brakes feature a new copper-free pad compound that won't harm aquatic life when their dust gets into waterways, which Cadillac engineers say took a lot of work to nail. They did. This pad compound has great feel, and, Cadillac says, the same longevity as a copper-laden equivalent. Like any modern GM performance product, there's a lot of computing power on board. A new electronic limited slip differential, housed in a new aluminum case that saves a significant 22 pounds, is controlled by the excellent and highly incremental performance traction management system. With driver aids either fully on or off, they wouldn't work as well without a nimble car underneath. The 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing is eager to turn into corners, happy to rotate predictably with the throttle, and enthusiastic about another lap. Cadillac is absolutely on top of its steering feel game, too, and the CT4-V Blackwing combines fantastic precision, good weighting, and clear and unequivocal feedback in a microsway-wrapped helm. Shifty business. The ATS-VS manual transmission was a little too notchy to be truly enjoyable, and it was slower around a track than the automatic. The 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing standard manual complicates the picture a bit, because even though it's technically slower, the Tremexhurst manual is absolutely lovely to use. Short and precise, each shift provides the ideal amount of positive engagement without heavy drag as you slot into the gate. Plus, manual CT4-V Blackwings now feature no-lift shifting, which works as advertised to knock an iota of time off each shift. There's no knock against the 10-speed automatic, which is competent and economical on the road and whip-crack sharp on the track. It's smart enough to leave alone on the circuit. It will find the right ratio for the job as you focus on getting your lines correct. Cracking off the gear changes manually with the shift paddles is fast, but not as satisfying as a true dual-clutch setup. There may be some subjective trade-offs between the two, but even manual transmission snobs should admit you can't go wrong with either gearbox. The cost of fun. The 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing is priced competitively. Remember, Cadillac's unusual pricing strategy means this Blackwing is larger and more powerful than other cars in its price bracket. That's great for consumers, but maybe less great for Cadillac's perceived prestige. After all, this is a vehicle that outtorques the non-competition model BMW M3 by a not insignificant amount, yet it rings up at $59,990 if you're stingy with the options and pick a boring color. That's for the manual, too, by the way. If you're into downforce and or carbon fiber, prepare to shell out $4,350 for the carbon fiber 1 package with all the downforce goodies, and an additional $2,650 to get the side skirts and rear diffuser insert made from the woven stuff. That all brings the price to $66,990, yet even at that number, the interior design and materials are barely on par with expectations. The CT4 comes closer, in general, than before, but it still doesn't feel as special inside as its rivals, both above and below its price point. There are elements of greatness, like the optional highly bolstered bucket seats, which hug without hurting and are all-day comfortable. The optional performance data recorder is also a strong value if track use is a possibility, and it works with Cosworth Toolbox, an advanced performance data analysis app. But interior quality isn't why you should buy a CT4-V Blackwing. No, it's how it romps around a track or down a squiggly back road. And how it makes you feel while doing it. The 2022 Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing packs so much entertainment value for the asking price, so much subjective enjoyment from its major controls, so many chassis learnings from Cadillac's nearly 20-year-old V-Series program into one subcompact package that it's hard to argue with the result. As a last hurrah for Cadillac's fossil fuel-huffing tire smokers, this one nails the brief. Welcome to Ruby Reviews Channel. 2023 BMW M4 CSL is 240 pounds lighter and packs 543 horsepower. The competition sports lightweight model features numerous modifications over the standard M4 competition and starts at a steep $140,895. The M4 CSL's twin-turbo 3.0-liter inline-six makes 543 horsepower, some 40 horsepower more than the M4 competition, and the car is also lighter than its counterpart by 240 pounds. The handling is more trackday focused thanks to a lower stance, standard high-performance tires and carbon brakes, and more aggressive suspension tuning. This special edition M4 CSL will be limited to 1,000 units worldwide and costs $140,895. BMW's new 2023 M4 CSL is a focused trackday special edition that is optimized for those who are willing to give up a chunk of daily driver livability for substantially enhanced performance. CSL stands for Competition Sports Lightweight, and the specs show this to be more than a mere marketing term. They also show that this car will almost certainly be a brute that won't appeal to everyone. It's powered by the same twin-turbo 3.0-liter inline-six that powers the M4 competition, but the CSL's peak turbo boost has been raised from 24.7 psi to 30.5 psi, a 24% increase. The dual-circuit cooling system has been upgraded to suit not merely the extra power, but also the rigors of track use. The result is 543 horsepower, some 40 horsepower more than the competition, with the same power peak of 6,250 RPM. Maximum torque is also unchanged at 479 pound-feet, which means the 8-speed automatic transmission and driveline from the competition can be used as before, right down to the automatic's internal ratios and the final drive ratio inside the M Sport differential. The shift points have been performance optimized, however, and the engine and transmission mounts have been substantially stiffened. There should be far less slack and wind-up in the power delivery, but an increase in cabin vibration is almost certain to be a side effect. The effects of this extra power are magnified by a massive 240-pound weight reduction. Each of the M4 competition's horsepower has 7.7 pounds to move around, but the extra power and lighter weight of the CSL drops that significantly to 6.7 pounds per pony. BMW claims that it will get to 60 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds, compared with the competition's claimed 3.8 seconds, but we think it'll do better. The CSL is a two-seater that sheds its rear seat and seatbelts to save 46 pounds right off the top. Beyond that, its one-piece carbon front buckets save 53 pounds, but you can choose to add 32 pounds back if you order adjustable carbon seats. Another 33 pounds in savings comes from the use of lightweight sound insulation, and quite possibly less of it, in certain areas. More carbon fiber reinforced plastic is used inside and out, including for the center console that saves 9 pounds at the tail end of the exhaust, Another £9 savings comes from the use of a titanium silencer that's tuned so it can be fully appreciated inside the cabin, where it provides the driver with accurate acoustic feedback in response to movements of the accelerator and clearly conveys the engine's performance characteristics. Which is a roundabout way of saying it's louder. The CSL comes standard with the 275/35 ZR19 front and 285/30 ZR20 rear high-performance tire combination that's optional on the competition, but the wheels are mounted on CSL exclusive forged alloys with slender spokes that shave off more weight. Carbon ceramic brakes that are optional on other M4s are standard here, and the wheels, brakes, and certain lightweight suspension components add up to another £46 saved, with much of this being unsprung weight. The suspension squats some 0.3 inch lower than the competition, and it has been recalibrated with CSL optimized springs, adaptive damper valving and software, and altered stabilizer bar tuning. Also notable is the use of additional monoball joints in certain rear suspension links instead of rubber bushings in the interest of more precision when on the track. This last tidbit reminds us of similar suspension changes made to the Porsche Cayman GT4 RS, which delivered stellar handling as a result, as well as questionable livability. All signs point to a much more capable and raw BMW M4 that will indeed be a more potent track day weapon. There's a single-minded approach at work here, and it should absolutely appeal to those who want to put their M4 on the track. How many BMW fans are looking for what the M4 CSL has to offer? We'll see once we know how long it takes the 1,000 units, each priced at $140,895, to sell out. This content is imported from. You may be able to find the same content in another format, or you may be able to find more information at their website. MC10. May 20, 2022. I have so far seen the new M3 in the launch color Isle of Man green and an M4 in Portimao blue. Grille aside, they have a huge presence. The stock stance is just about right, and combined with the right spec of wheel, it just really worked. The flared wheel arches really set it off. Prefer the sedan, see more. Reply 15.2. Point 2 replies. John DT. 2 days ago, I think the people complaining about the price of this thing are missing the point. This is a collectible car made for BMW fans, which is why it's limited to 1,000 units. Yes, you can get X car for less money, but that's not what BMW is concerned about. This car is meant to commemorate 50 years, see more reply. Point 12. Point 1. Point 2 replies. ICE 3523 2 days ago. A Porsche 911 GT3 Touring is 16% more expensive but 550 pounds lighter, has a better power to weight, isn't ugly and amp, plastered with Boy Racer add-ons, and it is also available with a manual. Or, for the same money, you can get a 718 GT4 RS and get a PDK that is better than the BMW gearbox. Either would be, see more. Reply 25.5. Point 2 replies. Bella Jabroni 2 days ago. Pretty sweet, and as expected, BMW sweats the details and delivers. At a huge price. What this does prove to me is what incredible bargains the Z51Z06 Corvette and GT350 GT500 are at 1/2 to 2/3 the price. Reply. Point 8. Point 1. Point 1 reply. C8 Refan 2 days ago. My eyes. My wallet. Reply. Point 13. Sponge pants. 2 days ago, loved the specs, but unfortunately no amount of performance can make that grille bearable. Reply. Point 6. Point 3. Beld 80. 2 days ago, this M4 is for the niche BMW customer with deep pockets and one that knows the rarity of the CSL badge. We live in a world now of 80K Ford Broncos who was expecting this car to be a bargain. I predict this new CSL will sell out pretty quickly and wouldn't be surprised if all orders have already. See more reply. Point 3. 1 reply. Gaming Mamba 2 days ago. Sorry, but 143K for a BMW. No thanks. If I wanted a sports car to take to the track and just rip around in it, I'll take the Porsche 911 Carrera GTS, or even less expensive, the Corvette C8 with the Aero package. Reply. Point 9. Point 6. Point 1 reply. Jim 8095 16 hours ago. Hideous. Heavy. Expensive. BMW dealer issues. Pass. Reply. Point 5. 1 reply. Orlando 86. May 20, 2022. There are faster, quicker cars for the money, but this M4 CSL is the ultimate track car for a BMW fanboy racer. This coming from a 2019 M5 and 2022 X7 M50i owner. Welcome to Ruby Reviews channel. Mercedes Vision AMG portends an electric performance future. Mercedes has presented the Vision AMG, a concept that signals its performance brand's desire to shift towards electric propulsion in the coming decade. The sleek body is draped across a long wheelbase, providing dramatic proportions. The headlights echo the Mercedes three-pointed star logo, while the taillights look like the afterburners on a fighter jet. Mercedes AMG, the German brand's performance-focused arm, has begun a drastic transformation, shifting away from the large displacement engines that solidified its reputation for face-melting driving shenanigans towards downsized powertrains and hybridization. The next C63 AMG is set to trade its predecessor's turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 for a turbo 2.0-liter inline-4 hybrid. But before too long, AMG will begin to transition away from gas engines entirely, and the Vision AMG concept unveiled today provides a glimpse at AMG's all-electric future, which Mercedes says will start in 2025. The Vision AMG features an elegant body, with smooth, aerodynamic surfaces and a long wheelbase. The rear and side windows have been painted the same aluminum silver color as the rest of the car, emphasizing the sleek look while reducing the window's ability to be, well, windows. The overall shape follows in the footsteps of the EQXX concept, and Mercedes says there is an active rear spoiler, although none of the photos show it raised. Mercedes revealed very little about what propels the Vision AMG, other than that it is electric, rides on a new platform called AMG.EA, and has a high-performance, high-voltage battery and the compact and lightweight axial flux motors also found in the EQXX. While the Vision AMG's body looks like a polished stone, the graphical elements add plenty of pizzazz. The nose features a panel that mimics the traditional AMG Panamericana grille, with LED light strips echoing the vertical slats from the gas-powered models. A thin light bar connects the main headlight units, styled to recall the iconic Mercedes three-pointed star logo. The taillights, meanwhile, feature 3 cylindrical tubes that looks like the glowing afterburners of a fighter jet and sit below an aggressive rear diffuser. Mercedes linked the Vision AMG concept to its successful Formula One team with the silver paint, aqua accents, and faint star pattern on the rear half of the car reminiscent of the race car's livery. The concept's 22-inch wheels also feature a closed-off, aerodynamic design, similar to the wheel covers introduced for the 2022 Formula One season. Mercedes hasn't confirmed that the concept directly previews a future AMG model, but we expect to see many of the design cues carry over when AMG starts to go electric in 2025. Less is more. 2 days ago. I like the novelty of using what would be exhaust pipes on an ICE car as taillights here. Reply 9-1 Reply Kobe beef. 2 days ago 18 months to build the EQXX suggests many of the incumbents will be able to come up with compelling BEVs across segments. But most advanced technology will start from the high end and some will trickle to mid-end eventually. Exciting times indeed for the car industry. Wishbat, see more. Reply 1-1 Reply Headpat it. 1 day ago. Finally, a Mercedes that is individualistic in its design. Not just a Teutonic mimicry of chrome and glass. Glad to see some originality, not just slicking up old models, as some automakers from Asia have been doing. Europe is about to enter another golden age of the automobile. I hope great techno. See more Reply 1 Paul Landerman GJ. 2 days ago headlights are very inventive. They could have gone anywhere with the taillights. Overall Corvair shape surprises with preemptive move to stifle reappearance of Impala sedan? Surprising, because I'm expecting it will be the Camaro moniker to adorn any electric replacement for Chevelle Malibu. Reply 2 QB1. 2 days ago. Reminds me a bit of the old Jag XJ220 Reply 5 Mardak. 1 day ago. The front is stunning. The back looks like an expensive bottle opener from Sharper Image. The wannabe exhaust flame rear lights are a nice homage to internal combustion. I only hope this design translates into a series of beautiful vehicles too. Reply. Point 2. JWP 2606. May 20, 2022. I don't have one good thing to say about any of the other EVs they have released other than the SUV that's coming. This on the other hand is a much better effort, it's worthy of an AMG badge. The bad part is it's vaporware right now, and we will see what it looks like when it gets close to actual. See more Reply. Point 1. Point 1. LCT 3145. May 20, 2022. It seems to me like Mercedes doesn't have a strong enough brand identity to be making these crazy concepts for the future. There are few to no styling cues that necessarily say this is a Mercedes to me. It could be an Audi for all I know. Reply. Point 2. Point 8. Point 3 Replies. S5157612 2 days ago. Before Mercedes does another concept related to a sports sedan, they need to announce if when the EQXX will go into production. The EQXX was a beautiful concept. And it looked more like a realistic concept that could be identical to the production version. Even the interior looked production ready. Welcome to Ruby Reviews channel. Nissan Sakura is a cute electric runabout for Japan, priced under $14,000. The Sakura fits into Japan's K-car class, and its 20.0 kWh battery provides a claimed 112 miles of range for the tiny electric box. The Japan market has a new electric Nissan called the Sakura, which fits into the K-car class and is named after the Japanese cherry blossom. The Sakura's electric motor puts out 63 horsepower and 144 pound-feet of torque, while the 20.0 kWh battery ekes out 112 miles of range on Japan's test cycle. The Sakura will cost just under $14,000 when it goes on sale in Japan this summer. Nissan has unveiled a tiny electric K-car for Japan called the Sakura, which derives its design from the IMK concept car from 2019. The Sakura, named for the Japanese cherry blossom, measures a mere 133.7 inches long, just fitting into the K-car regulations which govern the smallest class of cars designed around Japan's narrow city streets. Unfortunately, the Sakura's diminutive size means the EV will never make it to the U.S. market, but we can admire the cute little box from afar. The Sakura is powered by a single electric motor producing 63 horsepower and 144 pound-feet of torque. The car weighs 2,359 pounds, so don't expect blistering performance. Nissan quotes a top speed just over 80 miles per hour. Nissan says that quick and steady acceleration makes merging on highways effortless, but we're not sure we would want to test that out on an American interstate. A 20.0 kilowatt-hour battery provides a 112-mile range according to the Japanese test cycle, and it can act as a power source, with Nissan claiming it can power a home for a day. Nissan touts a 15.7-foot turning radius, and the Sakura is equipped with Nissan's ProPilot driver assistance system and automated parking system. There is also a one-pedal driving mode to make things easier when navigating city streets, while the interior gets a 9.0-inch infotainment screen and a 7.0-inch digital gauge display. The Sakura can be had in 15 different colors, including 4 two-tone options. The Sakura goes on sale in Japan this summer and starts at the current equivalent of just under $14,000. Flaming. 2 days ago. I have to assume this would not meet U.S. crash regulations, and that is part of the reason they are less expensive. If they were able to import it here, I would expect there to be a market for it. 100 miles for $14,000 is spectacular compared to what is currently on offer here in the U.S. I would probably be willing to sell my current car to get this just for the savings in gas alone. This $15,000 car makes total sense to me, as I live in a medium-sized city, and can get to the daily essentials, tennis club, supermarket, doctors, restaurants, etc., without risking life, limb, or sanity by getting on the highway. This sort of travel amounts to less than 20 miles a day in my case. So the good car is for other travel. Isn't this the traditional American solution, the good car, and the other car? Rob 77065. 2 days ago. $14,000. For an EV that will go 100 miles and only use 20 kilowatts, that's about $2.50 at 0.12 kilowatt-hour. My fuel cost would drop $9 per 100 miles, or think of gasoline at $1 a gallon would make for a great second car. Simon says. 2 days ago. This doesn't look much different than many Nissan K cars. Other than the sold grille. No one will notice it's electric in Japan, it will blend right in. Reply. 1. Vegas Colonel. 2 days ago, I guess after having my Bolt, which had 200 horsepower, and anywhere from 250 to 309 miles range, this would seem too small for many people, but I certainly would find it workable for the trips to the dog park, supermarket, etc., even my 42-mile round trip to my base, but there are EVs with more range and horse. Nissan Sakura is a cute $14,000 electric runabout for Japan. The Japan marketplace has a new electric Nissan identified as the Sakura, which fits into the K-vehicle class and is named following the Japanese cherry blossom. The Sakura's electric-powered motor puts out 63 horsepower and 144 pound-feet of torque, even though the 20 kilowatt-hour battery ekes out 112 miles of assortment on Japan's exam cycle. The Sakura will expense just under $14,000 when it goes on sale in Japan this summer season. Nissan has unveiled a tiny electrical K automobile for Japan identified as the Sakura, which derives its style from the IMK Idea vehicle from 2019. The Sakura, named for the Japanese cherry blossom, steps a mere 133.7 inches long, just fitting into the K-car restrictions which govern the smallest class of vehicles built all around Japan's slender city streets. Regrettably, the Sakura's diminutive size suggests the EV will hardly ever make it to the US market, but we can admire the cute tiny box from afar. The Sakura is driven by a solitary electric motor producing 63 horsepower and 144 pound-ft of torque. The auto weighs 2359 kilos, so you should not count on blistering performance. Nissan rates a prime pace just in excess of 80 miles per hour. Nissan states that swift and regular acceleration tends to make merging on highways easy, but we're not confident we would want to test that out on an American interstate. A 20 kilowatt-hour battery provides a 112-mile variety according to the Japanese test cycle, and it can act as a power source, with Nissan declaring it can electric power a residence for a working day. Nissan touts a 15.7-foot turning radius, and the Sakura is geared up with Nissan's ProPilot driver help procedure and automatic parking process. There is also a one-pedal driving manner to make issues much easier when navigating city streets, while the interior receives a 9-inch infotainment display and a 7-inch electronic gauge screen. The Sakura can be experienced in 15 diverse hues, such as 4 two-tone options. The Sakura goes on sale in Japan this summer and commences at the existing equivalent of just less than $14,000. This written content is imported from Embed Title. You may perhaps be in a position to uncover the similar information in an additional format, or you may possibly be ready to come across much more info at their World Wide Web website. This article is created and preserved by a third party, and imported onto this web page to assistance people offered their electronic mail addresses. You could be ready to uncover much more details about this and equivalent material at. Welcome to Ruby Reviews channel. Mercedes and Will.i.am turned the AMG GT4 door into a wild one-off with massive suicide doors, a G-Wagon-esque face, and monoblock wheels. This concept is meant to support Will.i.am's latest philanthropic undertaking. Mercedes teamed up with Will.i.am to create this one-off concept called Will.i.AMG. It's based on the AMG GT4 door and has a face similar to the G-Wagons. The car supports Will.i.am's philanthropic project called The Flip. Musician and philanthropist William Adams, better known as Will.i.am, has joined forces with Mercedes-AMG to create a one-off concept car called Will.i.AMG. The car will serve as the centerpiece of Will.i.am's latest philanthropic project, but before we get into that, let's examine the creation itself. It's based on a Mercedes-AMG GT4 door and was built by West Coast Customs, a purveyor of multiple over-the-top one-off automobiles. You might recognize the name from MTV's Pimp My Ride. This is the sixth project Will.i.am has employed West Coast to build for him, and it's far more restrained than most of the far-out rides he's had West Coast put together for his personal use. Will.i.am and West Coast Customs reworked the AMG GT's body to convert it from 4 doors to 2. We're thinking these must be in contention for the largest doors on any car, ever. Hinged at the rear, suicide style, they open like a pair of welcoming arms. If this were a daily driver, you'd be trapped inside after pulling into a parking spot at your local grocery store. We don't know what inspired the squared-off, truck-like front end clearly taken from the G-Wagon, but it certainly won't be confused with your neighbor's AMG GT. The 3-pointed Mercedes star in the grille was replaced with the image of a bear, which symbolizes the phrase "bear witness." It's the name of a line of limited edition apparel and accessories that Mercedes says will be available online and at its Mercedes-AMG Experience Center in Miami. There's also a 6-part documentary covering the build, titled Drive, that will premiere at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival. The car is part of Will.i.am's latest philanthropic undertaking called The Flip Innovation for Purpose, which is intended to give students from disadvantaged communities access to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math education. That, in turn, will enable them to grow the skills needed to earn future tech-focused jobs that help them lift themselves, their families, and their communities out of poverty. The rapper, songwriter, singer, and founding member of the Black Eyed Peas explained his desire to build a special Mercedes this way: "I grew up in a ghetto. I grew up with hip-hop. I watched legendary hip-hop artists rap about Mercedes, so it was always a dream to own a Mercedes. For a lot of inner-city kids, owning a Mercedes is a symbol of progress and advancing out of struggle. The FLIP program is new, but it's actually one of many STEAM educational initiatives supported by the musicians I.M. Angel Foundation, which has been performing these good works for more than a decade. The organization supports and funds students in underserved communities including Will.i.am's hometown, the Boyle Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles. The support enables participation in courses focused on robotics, information systems, computer coding, computer-aided design, and art. The foundation has also supplied both after-school tutoring and scholarships that have helped inner-city students attend and graduate from college. The foundation has raised millions of dollars of funding for these programs. Will.i.am and Mercedes have said that all the activities surrounding the Will.i.amg will benefit the efforts of the Singers I.M. Angel Foundation to help build a STEAM-ready talent pool that will lift families and communities out of poverty. The musician told Car and Driver that the original plan was to auction the finished car off and use the proceeds to fund between 50 and 100 robotics programs, with 10 to 20 kids in each in underserved communities. But Mercedes stepped in and saved Will.i.am that step by purchasing the car. The money will go towards those robotics programs and the car will go into the Mercedes Museum in Stuttgart, Germany. The profits from the Bear Witness apparel line will also go to the foundation. I wanted the car to be audacious, Will.i.am told the crowd as his silver creation spun on a turntable at an exclusive event on the eve of the Miami Grand Prix. Audacious it is, and memorable and out of the ordinary. When it comes to custom cars, there are as many opinions of what looks cool as there are people. But no one can argue with the good intentions, positive outcomes, and hopes for the future that this one represents. The front has an interesting 70s to 80s vibe, but the problem is it doesn't really fit the shape of the rest of the car. Would have loved to see them try some sort of wedge or slant nose look. That might have fit better, and I don't understand how they left the rear completely unchanged. I like the idea of a big two-door, but can't get by that face. Monte Carlo-esque indeed. Well, not my cup of tea, but the side profile looks okay. The wheels, interestingly, remind me of a Jaguar XJR more than any Mercedes or AMG. On another topic, the STEAM acronym seems a bit odd. If you are saying you want to focus on science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, what areas? One of those hot new AMG four-cylinder engines would do great in this. We could rent out the extra engine space to a family of circus performers who could pop out and do a high wire act at stoplights. The 2023 Mercedes-AMG GT63 SE Performance is the first of AMG's plug-in hybrid models, which will also include the next AMG C-Class. It's powered by a twin-turbo V8 paired with an electric motor on the rear axle, and it has 831 horsepower and 1082 pound-feet of torque. It will arrive in the US for the 2023 model year. Mercedes-AMG has just revealed the first in its new product lineup of e-performance plug-in hybrids. It's called the GT63 SE Performance. It will be joined soon by other AMG PHEVs, including the next top AMG C-Class. For now, the GT63S is the most powerful AMG road car yet, but only until the 1000-plus HP one arrives. The new model uses a familiar twin-turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 that produces 630 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque, with a permanent magnet synchronous AC motor and a 4.8 kWh battery pack incorporated in the rear axle. Through a 2-speed gearbox, the motor adds an additional 201 horsepower for up to 10 seconds, or 94 horses continuously. The lithium-ion battery pack is charged via the 3.7 kW onboard AC charger. Together, they make 831 horsepower and 1082 pound-feet of torque. A 9-speed automatic transmission handles the gear exchanges, and AMG's 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system delivers torque to all four corners. Additionally, the electrified rear axle has an electronically controlled limited-slip differential. AMG claims the GT63 SE performance will reach 62 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds, with 124 miles per hour arriving in less than 10 seconds. We expect it to be much quicker, as a GT63S reached 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds in our test. Like the non-hybrid model, the GT63 SE performance is equipped with AMG's air springs with electronically controlled adaptive dampers. 7 drive modes are available, including an electric mode that's good for a claimed 7 miles of driving range and speeds up to 80 miles per hour, and 4 levels of regenerative braking are toggled via a button on the steering wheel. Its carbon ceramic brakes measure 16.5 inches up front and 15.0 inches in the rear, 0.7 inch larger in the front and 0.8 inch in the rear than the non-hybrid. You can tell them apart by a red GT63S badge on the rear just above the charge port and a V8 bi-turbo E performance badge on each front fender. 7 new exterior color choices are available, too, along with 4 matte and 5 metallic colors and new 20 and 21-inch wheels. The MBUX infotainment system can display hybrid-specific information such as electric driving range, the power of the electric motor, battery temperatures, and power flow, which can also be displayed on the optional rear passenger screens. Mercedes-AMG will announce US specs, including pricing, closer to the GT63 SE performance's launch for the 2023 model year. Welcome to Ruby Reviews channel. World's most exotic rental cars. Have you ever wondered what it's like to drive $1 million car? Thought about flying down the freeway or cruising Main Street in a vehicle that turns heads as it passes? That experience is available in most major cities, at a price, of course. Rental rates vary by model and location, but for a special occasion, date, business meeting, or just fun with friends, you can drive a rare, exotic car. You might have a purely practical reason for renting a unique vehicle for a few days, a camping or ski trip when you need extra space in four-wheel drive, for example. But practicality aside, a flashy convertible would add a thrill to the drive across the 7-mile bridge in the Florida Keys or a trip up the California coast on Highway 1. Our typical luxury car renters range from celebrities and executives to ordinary individuals traveling alone, with family, or a partner. Matthew Sanchez, sales executive at Prestige Luxury Rentals in Atlanta, told Travel Plus Leisure. Our vehicles rent for special events, occasions, productions, and weekend getaways. We have other clients who are looking to experience a brand new top-of-the-line vehicle. If you'd love to try out some new wheels or turn a road trip into a special occasion, check out these vehicles available for rent in the U.S. Bentley GT Speed Convertible. Miami Exotic Car Rental, Miami, Florida. Whether you're cruising down Collins Avenue or browsing the murals in Wynwood, you'll look your best surrounded by a Bentley GT Speed Convertible. Top down, of course. Stylish, roomy, and comfortable inside and super flashy outside, this sports car will hum or roar, depending on your mood. The V12 engine provides 626 horsepower and a maximum speed of 206 miles per hour, but you'll just have to take that on faith, knowing if the occasion called for it, you could get from 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds. To book, daily rate from $1,499. McLaren 20 Spider Royalty Exotic Cars, Las Vegas, Nevada. When you show up in this white McLaren 720s convertible two-seater, you'll look like a big winner before you hit the baccarat table. With its upswept lines, it looks fast even standing still, and its 4.0 TT V8 engine provides 720 horsepower for when you want to get moving. Its 7-speed transmission and all that power can take it from 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds, and you'll find its ride surprisingly smooth and comfortable when you leave Sin City for a drive along nearby desert roads. To book, daily rate from $1,899. Ferrari 488 Italia Spider Gotham Dream Cars, San Francisco, California. Pick this baby up in the city and head north on US 101 towards Healdsburg, taking in the views, twists, and turns along the way. You'll appreciate its comfort, power, and exquisite handling, and if the weather is right, put the top down for the full effect. Its 4.5L V8 puts out 562 horsepower, but take your time, enjoy the scenery, and park it for the afternoon while you do some wine tasting in beautiful Sonoma. To book, daily rate from $1,850. Rolls-Royce Dawn Convertible. Auto Exotic Rental, Houston, Texas. This car is the ultimate in class and comfort. Its V12 engine gives you plenty of power, but no need to hurry when you're luxuriating in plush leather seats and enjoying the ease of its automatic transmission. Go ahead and put the top down. If it's a bit chilly, you can stay warm with the heated seats. Head southeast to Galveston for sea breezes, views, and a chance to show off a bit. To book, daily rate from $1,399. Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider Black Anamp, White Car Rental, Los Angeles, California. Get behind the wheel of this gleaming gray Lamborghini, settle into its plush black leather interior, and tune into your favorite SiriusXM satellite radio station. You're ready to turn heads from Sunset Boulevard to Pacific Coast Highway. Cruise the coast and you'll feel the 610 horsepower V10 engine, even if you stick to the speed limit. This car handles the curves like it was built for the Indy 500. To book, daily rate from $1,899. Mercedes-Benz AMG G63 SUV. Imagine lifestyle luxury rentals, Boston, Massachusetts. This sturdy SUV is exactly what you'll need for your drive north from Boston to Bar Harbor, Maine's Acadia National Park. The G63 features a powerful V8 providing 577 horsepower, so mountain roads present no problem, and handling is secure with its all-wheel drive. An automatic transmission makes driving easy, and the G63's plush leather seats keep you comfortable even when you're on the road for hours at a time, the perfect combination of toughness and luxury. To book, daily rate from $1,495. Prestige Luxury Rentals, Atlanta, Georgia. This 2021 black-on-black Audi is powered by a 5.2L V10, and the stunning interior will impress as well. Diamond-stitched leather seats, a wide driver-focused dashboard, and plenty of headroom in the spacious two-seat cabin make it fun to drive. You'll want to put the top down and head southwest to Pine Mountain for fresh breezes and scenery, and on the way check out the superb handling and rear-wheel drive. To book, daily rate from $1,195. Lamborghini Urus Denver Exotic Rental, Denver, Colorado. When the snow-covered ski slopes are calling, why not treat yourself and friends to the comfort and convenience of this 5-door SUV? Even with its roomy cargo space fully loaded, this Lamborghini's 641 horsepower engine has no trouble with hills, and its all-wheel drive keeps you safe on slippery roads. Warm up with its heated seats, and turn on the massagers to ease those achy muscles even before you get back to the fireplace and spa. To book, daily rate from $1,499. Bugatti Veyron Roadster MPH Club, Opelika, Florida. This might be the most amazing car you've ever seen, and undoubtedly the most memorable you'll ever drive. Only 150 were produced, and the sticker price of $1.52 million left most buyers in the dust, just as this Bugatti does other cars on the road. This rare vehicle features an open targa top, hand-stitched leather seats, 8-speed manual and auto shift, and an aerodynamic rear wing. A two-seater with top speed of 229 miles per hour, this Bugatti will make your day even as it busts your budget. To book, daily rate from $25,000 Uber is celebrating Earth Day with immersive rides to the Great Barrier Reef, Antarctica, and more. Customers in an Uber Green vehicle on April 22 will have the opportunity to take a virtual adventure through some of Earth's greatest sights. Nissan Sakura. Uber is celebrating Earth Day with immersive rides to the Great Barrier Reef, Antarctica, and more. Customers in an Uber Green vehicle on April 22 will have the opportunity to take a virtual adventure through some of Earth's greatest sights. Uber is going green for Earth Day and celebrating with immersive rides in cities across the country that can take customers to Antarctica, the Serengeti, and even the Great Barrier Reef, the company shared with Travel Plus Leisure. Customers who request an Uber Green ride in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., or Miami on April 22 will have the chance to go on an impromptu adventure to some of the world's most amazing sights, according to the company. Each ride will take place in a bright green Tesla and feature a different experience, like sitting underneath the northern lights or surrounded by Antarctica's icebergs. At Uber, we're committed to building a more sustainable future of mobility by giving riders across the world access to green and car-free products, including electric and hybrid rides with Uber Green, electric bikes and scooters with Lime, and public transit options, too, Thibaut Simple, Uber's global head of sustainability, told T+L. That's why this Earth Week, we're encouraging our community to go green with us, and giving lucky riders the chance to experience Earth's most precious places. Uber Green, which is available in more than 100 cities across 13 countries, uses a combination of hybrid and electric vehicles. There are currently 15,000 electric vehicles on the platform across the world. In addition to the special rides, Uber told T+L it would commit to ensuring that an Uber Green ride was never more expensive than an Uber X, which it currently can be. As a bonus, Uber will also offer travelers $1 off each trip on Uber Green, Lime e-bikes, and Lime e-scooters through April 30. To take advantage, customers can use the promo code GOGREEN22. This week, Uber lifted its mask requirement for both riders and drivers after the Transportation Security Administration said it would no longer enforce the federal transportation mask mandate. This isn't the first time Uber has given its cars a makeover. Last year, the company dressed up cars for Halloween, allowing riders to travel in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Party Wagon, SpongeBob SquarePants Paddy Wagon Convertible, and Scooby-Doo's Mystery Machine. Allison Fox is a contributing writer for Travel Plus Leisure. When she's not in New York City, she likes to spend her time at the beach or exploring new destinations and hopes to visit every country in the world. Follow her adventures on Instagram. Welcome to Ruby Reviews channel. Audi Q7 review. Highs. Agile handling, high-tech cabin features, spacious in all but the third row. Lows. Most desirable trims have high price tags, only kids fit in the wayback, not as cargo-friendly as its rivals. Verdict. Handsome, upscale, and pleasing to drive, the 2022 Audi Q7 brings style and technology to the family SUV formula. Overview. Like the rest of the Audi lineup, the 2022 Q7 SUV combines a handsome design, a technology-rich cabin, and a fun-loving chassis. It just does so with room for the whole family thanks to its standard 3 rows of seats. The entry-level engine is a 248 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder, but those seeking more towing capacity or increased performance should opt for the 335 horsepower turbocharged V6. All-wheel drive is standard with both engines. The Q7 can be outfitted with an adjustable air suspension and 4-wheel steering for even greater comfort and agility. Despite all those features, the Q7 isn't quite as sporty as rivals such as the Porsche Cayenne, but it holds its own against the BMW X5, the Mercedes-Benz GLE, and the Volvo XC90. Where this vehicle ranks. What's new for 2022? The Q7 receives a few extra standard features for 2022, including rear-side airbags, heated exterior mirrors, ambient interior lighting, and an upgraded tire pressure monitoring system. Premium Plus trims now come with lane keeping assist and adaptive cruise control with a traffic jam assist system as standard. The Black Optic Appearance package is now available on models with the base turbocharged 4-cylinder. Pricing and which one to buy. We think the Turbo 445 powertrain is more than sufficient, and we'd pair it with the Premium Plus trim level. Moving up from the base Premium to the Premium Plus adds plenty of niceties, including a surround sound stereo system, a wireless smartphone charging pad, power folding exterior mirrors with memory settings, 20-inch wheels, ambient interior lighting, and illuminated door sill inlays. We'd also spring for the new Executive package, which adds, among other things, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, 4-zone automatic climate control, heated and ventilated 12-way power adjustable front seats, heated rear seats, and all-weather floor mats. Engine, transmission, and performance. For 2020, Audi kept the old 248 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder but added a new turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 that uses a 48-volt hybrid system to make 335 horsepower, and these powertrains carry over unchanged into 2022. When we tested a 2020 Q7 with the new turbo V6, we recorded a brisk 5.0 second 0 to 60 mph time, which was slightly quicker than the mechanically similar two-row Q8 SUV. Despite its bulk, when the Q7 is fitted with the optional performance tires on 21-inch wheels, it feels low and lithe, like a pumped-up sport wagon. The adjustability of the optional air suspension, paired with the added agility of four-wheel steering, makes the Q7 surprisingly fun to flog down a twisty back road. It also rides quite smoothly. Fuel economy and real-world MPG. Not surprisingly, the V6 powertrain comes with worse fuel economy. The EPA fuel efficiency ratings are 17 miles per gallon city, 21 mpg highway, and 18 miles per gallon combined, which accounts for drops of 2 miles per gallon across the board when compared to the turbo 4-cylinder model. When we are able to test drive a 2021 Q7, we'll put its efficiency to the test on our 200-mile highway fuel economy test route. We expect the 4-cylinder Q7 to return similar results to the 2017 model we tested, which delivered 26 miles per gallon on our 200-mile highway route. For more information about the Q7's fuel economy, visit the EPA's website. Interior, comfort, and cargo. With its minimalist, contemporary design matched with loads of technology and excellent comfort and build quality, the Q7's cabin is a special place. Beautiful materials and design highlight the Q7's interior, as do the intelligent layout of its controls and the comfortable seats that feature both ample support and adjustability. Entry-level premium versions come nicely outfitted, and the amount of upscale features can get supremely luxurious in the higher trim levels. As with most three-row SUVs, there isn't a ton of cargo space in the Audi's cargo area when all of its seats are in use. But it has available space comparable with its key rivals, and the rearmost row can be quickly raised or lowered via power controls, which makes up for the somewhat clumsy operation of the middle row. With all seats stowed, the 2019 Q7 had room for 25 of our carry-on suitcases, a result we expect the 2021 model to match. Infotainment and connectivity. The Q7 comes standard with a 10.1-inch infotainment touchscreen and a smaller 8.6-incher located below that to adjust the climate control and vehicle settings. Depending on whether or not you enjoy using touchscreens while driving, you may find the new system delightful or devilish. Our staff is split, but Audi's been busy adding this new infotainment system to its lineup. It can be found in the A6, 7, and A8 sedans, as well as the Q8 SUV. All 2021 Q7 models also come with a virtual cockpit digital gauge display, 4G LTE Wi-Fi, and Apple CarPlay Android Auto integration. Audiophiles can revel in several audio options, topped by a Bang & Olufsen system with 23 speakers and 1920 watts of juice. Safety and driver assistance features. Several driver assistance features are either standard or optional on the Q7, which will make it attractive to buyers transporting precious cargo. For more information about the Q7's crash test results, visit the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and Insurance Institute for Highway Safety websites. Key safety features include standard automated emergency braking and forward collision warning, available lane departure warning and lane keeping assist, available adaptive cruise control with semi-autonomous driving mode, warranty and maintenance coverage. The Q7 carries solid warranty coverage comparable with its peers, although the Acura MDX and the Lexus GX both offer slightly better powertrain coverage. Limited warranty covers 4 years or 50,000 miles. Powertrain warranty covers 4 years or 50,000 miles. No complimentary scheduled maintenance overview. What is it? You're looking at the latest generation of Audi's full-size, 7-seat SUV, which since its thorough facelift in 2020 has had bits of Big Brother Q8 grafted onto and into it. So you get the huge stretched octagon of single-frame grille that denotes the current Audi family up front, as well as other Q model hallmarks on the outside. Then you slip inside a marginally longer car to find all the fancy twin-screen Ingolstadt interior tech, plus updated to contemporary corporate engines and specs. The upgrades are worth having when compared to the pre-2020 second-gen Q7, but Audi's assertion that the Q7 redefines 7-seat luxury is pushing it a bit, especially given that you can't even have 7 seats if you spec the plug-in hybrid powertrain. More on that later. How are the looks actually different from before? Good question. The updates aren't the easiest to spot initially. There's that change of face, new side inlets on the front bumper, a kicked-up side skirt profile addition and some rear-end fettling. It's an agreeable series of changes, but it does all contribute to Audi model identity confusion if you're more than 30 feet away. What are my trim options? In the UK there's Sport S-Line, Black Edition and top-of-the-tree Vorsprung trim levels to choose from, all gently lengthening the spec list as you walk your wallet up the pricing scale. All UK variants get standard air suspension and LED matrix headlights. And what about powertrains? Engines run from a Q755 TFSI petrol to a pair of diesels in the same format with 2 outputs, the 45 TDI and the 50 TDI. All are 3.0-liter capacity V6s and all are combined with Audi's efficiency-enhancing 48-volt mild hybrid system. That goes with the only transmission option, an 8-speed Tiptronic auto driving through Quattro 4-wheel drive. Let us not forget the plug-in hybrid 55 TFSI-E2. That's actually the most potent Q7 available these days, discounting the 500 bhp plus V8 engine SQ7, of course, with the same 3.0-liter petrol-powered V6 connected to an electric motor and a 14.4 kWh lithium-ion battery pack for a combined 376 brake horsepower. As ever with Audi, there's another Q7's worth of options on the go if you're feeling flush, but the Vorsprung spec tries really quite hard to aggregate it all into one handy Q basket. Interestingly, Black and Vorsprung editions get big wheels, 21 and 22-inch, respectively, and lowered air sports suspension, though quite why you'd want more sports in a 7-seat SUV weighing well over 2 tons is beyond us. Smells a bit like marketing. What's the verdict? Not revolutionary, but the 7-seater makes plenty of sense. If you need this sort of thing as far as being a nicely appointed 7-seat SUV with real practical appeal if you regularly haul multiples, the Q7 meets the brief. Although there's your reason to avoid the PHEV straight away, the lack of practicality would be infuriating. The mild hybrid versions without a battery pack eating up the rearmost two seats aren't exactly revolutionary in terms of extracting interior space from a small footprint. They are, after all, over 5 meters long, but there aren't too many 7-seat options if you also want plenty of posh to go with your space. With decent but not class-leading dynamics, competitive pricing and super premium interiors, the Q7 should definitely be in the mix if you need this sort of thing. We'd be quite happy with the lower-powered diesel in S-Line spec and a couple of options if it were our money, mind you. Does anyone really need self-closing doors and trick sports suspension on their family SUV? This website is made by BBC Studios Distribution. BBC Studios is a commercial company that is owned by the BBC. No money from the license fee was used to create this website. The profits we make from it go back to BBC program makers to help fund great new BBC programs. BBC is a trademark of the British Broadcasting Corporation. Logos 1996. External link to more about BBC Studios. Welcome to Ruby Reviews channel. 2022 Rolls-Royce Cullinan. High's velvety and powerful V12. A cabin that's like a palatial isolation chamber, the literal Rolls-Royce of SUVs. Lows. Looks like a regal London taxi, digital gauges diminish the elegant interior, standard rear seats don't adjust enough. Verdict. The Cullinan is an extremely expensive box, but its unrivaled refinement and richness justify its price. Overview. As one would expect of an ultra-expensive SUV, the 2022 Rolls-Royce Cullinan rides with supreme serenity and indulges everyone aboard. A strong and silky V12 effortlessly motivates this $250,000 people mover. Though its exterior design borders on awkward, its unmistakable hood ornament and prodigious proportions ensure that onlookers know it's a Rolls-Royce, and that its occupants are extremely wealthy. We only wish the interior wasn't marred by modern trends such as digital gauges, and we'd prefer that the standard back seat was more adjustable. Still, the quietness and build quality of the Cullinan's cabin is unrivaled, as is the ability to personalize the space to the owner's desire. Where this vehicle ranks. What's new for 2022? Rolls-Royce doesn't make any changes to the Cullinan for the 2022 model year. It continues to be powered by a twin-turbo V12 making 563 horsepower. An 8-speed automatic transmission still handles gear changes and routes power to the standard all-wheel drive system. Pricing and which one to buy. In the make-believe scenario that we could afford a Cullinan, we'd choose the crystal paint scheme, the 22-inch 7-spoke wheels, the gold-plated Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament, and the electronic tow hitch. We'd spec the immersive seating with center console option, which gives the rear seats massage functionality and replaces the center seat